Welcome to a continuation of the futuristic fantasy series Humanity's Evolution. Today I'm going to read Part 22. My body felt oddly numb when I exited the voting booth, eyes blinking rapidly in the sudden sunshine. It was time to leave. I would do my best to forget everything that happened here today. I started to shed my form. "Anne?" Gershom called out. He hurried towards me but came to a sudden stop a few feet away. "You're leaving now?" he asked, his eye catching the telltale ripple in the air that preceded the transformation from matter to energy. "Yes," I said, too emotionally tired to try to soften the truth even for him. "I don't believe in the planet project anymore." "What? Why?" he asked, a truly perplexed look crossing his features. I shook my head. "We just aren't ready. I'm sorry." Gershom moved closer and gently but firmly took a hold of my arm. "If you transform, I'm coming with you, Anne. I deserve an explanation." His words ignited my anger, but Peter's earlier observation of our debates made me hold my tongue. I wasn't interested in becoming a spectacle of entertainment for the little dragons around us anymore. Instead, I asked him politely to let go of me. "I won't leave without telling you why," I promised. His hand released me, and I looked around for a more isolated spot for us to talk. The grassy green field was too crowded for my taste, but a wood lay on our far right. No one ventured between the tall trees, preferring to mingle in the bright sun instead. It took a few minutes for my eyes to adjust to the darker interior as I led him deep into the forest. I refused to stop until all I could hear were scattered bird song and the scurrying of other animals. A few times I turned to look at Gershom. He kept up with me and stayed just as silent. His face held a deeply puzzled look. It hurt to see, especially since nothing I said now could erase it. I finally stopped and turned. We were indeed alone now. His eyes gave me an expectant look. I then told him about Peter. Gershom remained unmoved by my story. "So the ignorant ramblings of one little dragon made you throw away the entire project?" he stated. "You don't understand," I said. "There is no way you can prove to me that there is just one little dragon thinking that way. I fear nearly half of the people in attendance will be doing this for sheer fun," I stressed. Gershom shook his head as I spoke. "Who cares? You can't expect everyone to take this as seriously as you do. Those who are in charge will put in the proper precautions. You made this happen with your earlier speech." Gershom and I were so different. He couldn't see what I clearly saw in talking to Peter. Creating new life was a serious business. Alexandria had proved that the planet we created would be formed from all of us. I'd thought before that our combined experiences would create a solid world. But what if the pettiness I saw in Peter made up even just a third of the world's energy? We would be dooming it from the beginning. "If we don't do this properly, then we shouldn't do it at all," I said. Gershom gave a heavy sigh. "I think the conditions you want don't exist and won't ever exist. All we can do is our best." I didn't disagree. My best right now is not to engage in something that could bring our whole race unspeakable sorrow. The two of us just stared at each other, neither one willing to give an inch in our convictions. "All right," Gershom said in defeat. "I won't speak any more about the project, but that still doesn't explain why you were planning on leaving without saying goodbye," he said in a hurtful voice that I didn't expect. "Well, I figured that since we were no longer going to be working on the planet project, you wouldn't be interested any longer," I said, my face flushing as I looked at him. My words sounded rather petty to my ears. Gershom shook his head as he gently took a hold of my hands. "I told you before, Anne, my feelings are not that fickle. I also got a strong impression that yours aren't either." I smiled at him. "No, I have heard many times that I can be quite passionate and steadfast when my mind is made up." "Is your mind made up, then?" Gershom asked, a questioning look in his eyes. I nodded my head as I kissed him. That ends Part 22 of Humanity's Evolution. Next week we will continue with our Storytime Adventures for Adults video series by reading the next chapter in Songs from the Depths by Meg Swanson. On June 17th, we will read the final chapter, Humanity's Evolution, which is Part 23. Starting this month, Visit www.reneeannhughes.com to enter our free raffle to win one of 4 prizes. All you have to do is submit your email address by June 30th for a chance to win. To learn more about humanity's evolution and the Storytime Adventures for Adult video series, visit my website, www.reneeannhughes.com. If you'd like to contribute to this series, please feel free to become a patron on Patreon. Details for joining are on my website, and also please subscribe to this YouTube channel so you won't miss any new videos. Goodbye, and thanks for listening.